Welcome back, everybody, to Simplexity Analytics seasonal report for October of 2024. This month, we only have 4 markets that are the most bullish or bearish for October, and that is soybean meal and live cattle on the bullish side, and 30-year bonds and 10-year notes on the bearish side. And we will highlight in this video the soybean meal market, the 30-year bonds, and as always, we go over the S&P E-minis every single month. Taking a look at soybean meal first here, we see that October being the most bullish month, 58% of Octobers have finished higher than they have opened. Not really a great percentage, but has really good dollar values, and it's made $24,000 in just over 20 years of a back test. And if you look at the seasonal indicator at the bottom, we see how strong really from September to October and right through to the close to the end of the year has been in each of these years. We see after it makes an annual low, which usually occurs in and around September, then it's up from there on. So we'll see how this looks now on the heat map for soybean meal. Not much of a surprise, really, when we see the seasonal indicator go so high during this time frame that we have a lot of green on the heat map. So the bullishness for the soybean meal is very strong in this time of year, and especially when we focus in on the second week here. Look at this. All but 2 columns have bright green days. And over here to the far right, we see that the month of October has 4 out of the 5 best 5-day holds for the entire year. And if we go here to the far left-hand column, which is the particular date of the year, so this is October 11th trades, 16 consecutive October 11ths have had successful trades in soybean meal. And if we carry this column over to the right, we have the trading day of the month. Trading day 9 has had 95%, it's had 1 loser. Same with trading day left in the month. That would be day number 15. So this is a really strong period here this second week, and we have a bunch of bright greens down here as well into the 4th week of October too. So for the first 4 weeks, and especially highlight in this second week and towards the end of the first week, is where to really look bullish on soybean meal. The seasonal chart for the 30-year bonds looks an awful lot like an inverse of the soybean meal chart we just looked at, in that the market is coming off of a seasonal high and we're catching it as it's on the downswing here, and we're heading into the most bearish month of the year for bonds, and it has only finished higher in the month of October 27% of the time. So that means 73% of Octobers have finished lower. So that's good if we're looking for shorts in the market. And those shorts would have made just under $30,000 in this back test. So we see that very strong tendency seasonally to decline in October, and price has followed that to a certain degree as well in the last 3 years. Let's have a look at the seasonal heat map and see how this translates there. The 30-year bonds seasonal heat map shows us that we really want to concentrate our shorts for this market in the first 3 weeks of the month of October. That's where the big declines tend to happen. And if we look at the bright red days here, we get quite a few here in the first week, and that also is accompanied by a 15-0 trade which occurs on October 4th. This is using a $2,000 stop. And we have a bunch of 90% days in here as well, and it also carries over into the following week. Then we get a little bit of a lull, and then it picks up again in the 3rd week with a bunch more days over 90 with a lot of high dollar values. And then by that point, by the end of that 3rd week, we should probably be looking to take profits and cover those shorts, because then we get kind of a mixed bag here towards the end of the month. And as always, we're going to take a look at the S&P E-minis for the month of October. October turns out to be the 5th most bullish month, so it's not really extreme one way or the other. It's kind of in the middle. Octobers have finished higher 61% of the time, so that's a pretty good percentage. But remember, when dealing with the stock market indicators, they have upward drift over time, so we expect them to finish higher than lower. And bulls would have made just over $24,000 in the back test. If you look at the seasonal indicator, we see how October is kind of sideways. Each year a little bit down and then a little bit of a rally maybe towards the end. Last year, yeah, same thing. A little bit down, then saw a rally towards the end of October. So we'll see if that is what it actually looks like on the heat map when we have a look at that now. And yes, it turns out that the S&P heat map does correspond well to that indicator, in that the first couple of weeks saw it sideways to slightly down. Well, on the heat map, most of those days ended up being neutral as they're all white up here. But then as we got closer towards the end of the month, then we start getting some greens, and what we like to see is those bright green days in here as well. Not too terribly many are really clustered together. They're kind of spread out. We do have some good days here, though. We have a bunch over 80s. We have a 94% day with one loss in the back test, and that is October 21st. And we have a couple 93s down here in the last week. This is right at the end of October with only one loss in these days as well. So they're sparse down here, but definitely have a bullish side to them towards the end of the month in S&P E-minis in October. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're notified on our next videos. Simplexity Analytics, making complex trading simple.